But if we want to kick it off with step number one, which was creating the goal, can you talk us through a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have a goal and a direction in terms of where you want to go with anything. And with property, I think it's really important that you need to write it down, understand what that looks like, so then you can reverse engineer what that plan looks like and understand the steps you need to do to get yourself there.
So what are some of the common goals that you see people having at the moment, like working in the industry?
Yeah, a lot of people, it's like, I want to have $150,000 passive income,
Mm.
or I want to retire by the time I'm 40, or retire by the time I'm 55, or possibly I want to scale back my work and I want to work part-time or go and live overseas. So
Yep.
there's so many different goals and so many different things that people want to achieve. And I think these 6 steps are really going to help people understand and strip it back to be able to get them to where they want to go.
And it's so important as well to remove the vagueness from the goal, because this is something that you and I were talking about, and you were like, you have to be so specific, because if it's just, I want to make money, how much money? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So for anyone that's at the start, or maybe not even at the start, maybe they've got one property and they're kind of feeling a little bit directionless with it. How do you get more clarity on your goal?
I think it's really important. There's so much that goes into particular goals and planning of where you want to go. Just start by stripping it back and writing it down. Put it on a whiteboard, write it on a piece of paper, put it in your notes on your phone. Really give yourself a visual understanding of where you want to go and how you want to get there, because that's just going to give you an outline of what to expect and the journey that's to come for you.
I like this. This is something Bianca and I did a while ago, and we pulled apart like the whole life story, and it was like, all right, it wasn't lavish, but it was still like, yeah, okay, we've got a gardener, we've got all this kind of stuff. And it gave us this dollar figure. And the craziest thing about it was, I can't remember exactly, we've got it at home, but it was nowhere near what you'd think it would be. Like we were kind of going, okay, well, 1 overseas holiday a year, then we're doing 2 like interstate holidays per year, sending the kids to private schools, all that kind of jazz. And in my head, as we were talking about this, I'm like, well, this is going to be like 800 grand a year. I think it was 220 or something like that. Like it wasn't much at all.
No. And I think like conversations I have with people when we're doing strategy sessions is they sit down and they go, how many properties do you think you need for your portfolio? And majority of the people write down plus 10.
Yeah.
They think they need plus 10 properties to get them to the goal when they need to. And then when we sit down and we map that out, the power of showing them that and they actually see, oh, wow, it's actually considerably less. And that's a bit of a mindset and a framing change for people. And they go, holy wow, this is actually really achievable for people.
Well, and especially if you're thinking that it's going to be 10 and it turns out it's actually 4, because now it's like, oh, wow, okay, that seems way more doable.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
All right, so we're clear on the goal, the what, where we're going. Now it's about how to actually get that plan to get there. And this is one of the things that I'm hearing all the time is like, how do I know which strategy to use? I hear different buyers agents, mortgage brokers, every like industry professional says that their way is the only way or the best way. What's your sort of take on this?
I think for me, it's you need to go and talk to them. Talk to those companies, talk to at least 3 of them and see what their strategy is about and why that company does that particular strategy.
Okay.
And see how they've done it and see the differing approaches and how that lines up to this goal that you've written down and you've mapped out. Because not everyone wants to go down the blue chip line. Not everyone wants to go down the cash flow line. Not everyone wants to do the duplex flipping. It might be going down data-driven buyer's agency. See what resonates to you so that you can understand how that's going to work towards your goal.
I know I've said this on the show probably recently, actually, so apologies for anyone listening if I just said this last week, but I remember this book, 100 Greatest Businesses of All Time and the Minds Behind Them. And this line that I always remember from it was, there is as many ways to create an amazing business as there are amazing businesses. And I think this is where the confusion comes in a lot of the time as well, is like so many of the strategies out there, they all sound pretty good. And it's not that they are good or bad. A lot of them, some of them bad, but it's not so much that. It's like, what's good for you? And this is where I think, like you're saying, if you can talk to like 3 of the top companies and start getting some contrast, then that's a much better way of kind of assessing them, instead of going, well, I'm just going to talk to 3 people that all do this strategy. Because then what if you've walked down that path for 4 years and find out it was you had your ladder up against the wrong wall? So if you're doing that comparison early on, I can see where this is going.
100%, because what works for them and their strategy is not going to work for you. So it might be that you need to maybe look at a different option and resonate with something that actually fits to you and where you want to go and how you want to maintain your lifestyle, how you want to maintain that life progression as you go and you're doing this for your future self.
I like it, man. All right, step number 3. So we've got the goal. We've talked to 3 different companies or 3 strategies, whatever it is, and we've got some comparisons here. What are we doing now?
Yeah, we really want to look at who you had a really good connection with, who actually provided you with some substance and some realistic, actionable steps that they felt in your situation really felt well and aligned to them as a company and where you can go with them and give you some takeaway steps and some feedback to go on and implement.
Okay. So basically making sure that you're feeling looked after, whether it's like a mortgage broker, buyer's agent, a course or whatever, but feel that you were listened to.
Yeah. And you got value out of the conversation. It was a bit two-way in terms of, oh, this is how we do it. We don't just do that. It gives you a bit of context and surround you and help you paint the picture that your goal is realistic in terms of how you want to get there.
I always kind of like the doctor's approach. Like the prognosis. Is it prognosis or diagnosis? I don't know the difference. I probably shouldn't be using words I don't understand. But anyway, I always like the more like, tell me where you're wanting to go and let's talk about how to get you there instead of just, let me just tell you how to get you there. And that's what I'm kind of taking from this is like what you're saying. It's like, did you actually feel comfortable with this person or this company or whoever it was? And was it actually explained clearly opposed to just having this sales pitch of this is why we're awesome?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think at the end of the day, it's your money and your financial future. It's not that company's. So you want to make sure that you're doing something that aligns with you and your goals and where you want to get to, as opposed to just following what someone's saying.
Okay. And so applying this to your goals then. Now, this is something that you and I were talking about off air. And I think this is a wonderful step. And it's probably the key, in my opinion, to all of this coming together as well. Can you talk us through a little bit about how you take the strategies and sit down with the broker? Because I thought this was wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's really important to just sit down and write it out. Write out what they've suggested that you need to do and see in the flesh or on paper or on a whiteboard how that.
Yeah, probably don't write on your flesh. That'd be tattooing.
Yeah.
It's extreme.
Then with you for life, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, write it down and see how that's going to impact you, impact your lifestyle, impact what you're going to do. Does that impact you wanting to go on that holiday? Does it impact you living where you want to live and you might have to go and move to the suburbs to do it? And sit down with your broker and really understand and unpack what it's actually going to cost you and how that's going to impact your lifestyle going forward. So if it's blue chip, how much of a deposit are you going to need to be able to get yourself into the blue chip property?
Gotcha.
And then what's that going to cost you to hold it over the long term of your portfolio journey?
And why are you doing this with the broker? Why not just at home?
Because the broker is going to be able to give you access and a real understanding of the impacts of the lending. So how much your mortgage repayments are going to be, what's going to be the potential shortfall, or how cost neutral is that going to be for you? And
that way as well, once you've got that in the serviceability calculator, they're then going to be well equipped to go, okay, cool, this is what you're going to need to do to buy again, or you're probably not going to be able to buy again, like you're tapping out.
That's right, because they're going to ask you what your lifestyle expenses are, and they're really going to put that into the particular bank servicing to really say, hey, you might need to look at cutting back some of your lifestyle expenses to be able to service this size of a mortgage if you look to go down the blue chip line.
I like this. So whether it's blue chip, whether it's developing data, reno, whatever it is, start actually saying like, what do the banks think of this basically?
Yeah, correct. What do the banks think? How are you going to be able to get the mortgage? Does the bank think you're going to be able to service this, not just now, but into the future and the lifetime of the loan?
Yeah. I love this, man. And as far as going to a bank versus a broker, again, you and I have been doing this for a while. We know why. Yeah. But for anyone going, oh no, I've got a friend at the bank, I'll just go there. Why not?
Well, I think most brokers, they'll give you access to about 30 different types of lenders. So we were talking about servicing before. Different banks service differently. One bank might be able to give you $100,000 more than the other one. They might be able to give you a slightly smaller rate that you might pay, or they might give you a slightly higher rate, but give you more access to more money to be able to make that purchase.
And so that way, if you sit down with the bank, you might think, oh, I can't do this, when maybe you could.
Correct.
Or the other way around. Yeah, I can do this, but maybe it's still not the best strategy for you because you're sitting down. Actually, no, it wouldn't work the opposite. If it's either a go or it's a no, really, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that doesn't reverse well. Anyway. All right. And now, so we've sat down, we've got the goal, We've talked to the top three. We've now applied the top three with a broker. So we're not just putting opinion on this. We're getting some like solid facts of how we could move forward financially. So out of that, we've picked one that we're like, all right, we vibed with all three, but now there's one out of this that makes the most sense as far as a borrowing power is concerned. What from there? What's the next steps from there?
It's building the team, Todd, because it's not just you and your broker working together. There's a wide ranging of other people in this whole thing of property that goes into helping you get to where you want to go to.
Now, I like the way that you've broken this up because we've got the team that you need to be building. And obviously this is going to change slightly depending on your strategy, but otherwise probably pretty much this team. But then the key question to ask each of them, because one of my frustrations for so long was people always said, find a good accountant. Every accountant says they're a good accountant. No one's like, oh no, I'm a bad accountant. You don't want to use me. So I think breaking it down into these like kind of key questions to ask, man, this is a good way to do it. But which one are we going to kick it off with? Which professional?
And the first person you're probably going to ask is your mortgage broker. And the question I would be asking them is, what are the dangers of cross-collateralization?
I like this. Okay. So this is, you're basically trying to put them on the spot with something that's a bit of a curly one, but to see how they answer it. Because then if they can put your mind at ease and go, okay, here they are. Well, you're probably in some good hands. But if they're like, oh yeah, no danger.
100%. Because I look at my first purchase and the broker that I spoke to, and it was a cross-collateralized purchase.
That's right. You had some trouble with this, didn't you?
Yeah, had some real trouble. So in my first purchase, trusted the family broker. And yeah, was advised to do a parental guarantee that ended up, I found out down the track that it was all cross-collateralized and was an absolute mess. And it cost me time and money to be able to untangled it, had to wait 6 months, which kept me out of the market to then be able to buy again. So lesson learned, and a great question to start with.
I still remember the very first broker I used told me that Lender's Mortgage Insurance paid the mortgage for me if I lost my job. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. And I thought I was being so clever. I was like, yeah, I'll get this mortgage insurance stuff. Like, go me, financially responsible. And then like, it was probably like 3 years later, I found out like, you don't have any protection, mate.
It's just protecting the bank.
Well, yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's about finding someone that understands basics like cross-collateralization. There is obviously so many more things on the list, but if that's one to kick it off, if a broker can't answer that question and fill you with confidence, probably keep looking.
Yeah, move on to the next.
Who's the next one on the team?
We need a quality accountant.
Okay.
So
what are we asking them?
We're asking them, what is your land tax threshold?
Okay. Explain this question a little more.
Because in each state, the land tax thresholds are different. So if they can't take a step back and ask you, well, what state are we talking about?
Okay. So first you want to see a follow-up question.
Yeah. We want to see, we're testing their knowledge.
Yep.
And they should be able to go, oh, okay, well, what state are you looking at buying in?
Yeah. Are you going to buy in your own name or a trust?
Yes, exactly. Because then they impact each as well.
Okay. All right. I like this one. So we're testing the accountant with the land tax side of things. Who's next on the team?
We're looking at our buyer's agent. So that person who we know is going to help us execute our plan.
And how are you pushing back there?
Why is my strategy best suited to me?
Okay. So the strategy that they're doing?
Yes, sorry. The strategy that they're proposing.
Yep.
You're asking them why that's best suited to your goals and your...
Okay, so you've already done your research in it. You've sort of had the numbers with the broker. Or not had the number. You've gone through the numbers with the broker, but then you're just re-clarifying, like, come on, like, tell me again, why is this a good fit?
Exactly right. Because you've already canvassed and had that conversation early, you kind of want to see what they've told you initially and what they're telling you now.
Yep. And
how that's all matching up, because you've gone away and you've gone and build your knowledge base. So you're going to have more questions to ask them and push back on them. So you're testing that information to make sure that what they told you the first time is still the same information they're telling you now.
So looking for that consistency.
Correct. We want a consistent approach.
I like that, man. All right. Now, property manager, next on the list?
Yeah. I think this one gravitated or resonates well with me because of an episode you did in how to increase your profitability through property managers.
I remember that one. Yep.
Yeah. And I think the question that stuck out for me was, what's the worst case situation you've had and how did you navigate through it?
I remember this one. So like asking the property manager, you think of like the worst case scenario, and then it's like, okay, cool. Now put them on the spot to go, how would you actually walk me through this if this happened?
Yeah. How would you help me through it? How would we get ourselves out of this situation?
This is a good one because I remember thinking that when we talked about that on the first episode as well, that it's like, if they can't, well, one, think clearly on the spot, that's probably not a very good sign. And then two, if they can't put your mind at ease with something that's fake and made up, how are they going to put your mind at ease if something like this actually happened?
Exactly right.
So, okay, I love this. This is really good. And is there anyone else in the team that we need to be asking questions?
I think the last one's our quantity surveyor.
Okay. What are we asking them?
We're basically asking them, if my investment property was built in 1975, can I still claim any depreciation?
Okay. And for anyone that's wondering why that's important, can you explain? Because that sounds like that's a loaded question. We're trying to make it a trick question then.
Yeah. So when we're creating our depreciation reports, a lot of properties that are built before 1989, there's minimal to no claimable value available to them.
Gotcha. So if a quantity surveyor is like, oh, yeah, you're all good, like walk the other way pretty much.
Exactly. And the number you probably just need to remember is 1989.
Now, so we've got a team: broker, accountant, not in this order, but broker, accountant, quantity surveyor, property manager, buyer's agent. We've got a question to ask all of them. So that way, if they end up going, they don't make us feel comfortable when we're asking the question, keep calling, keep ringing around.
Keep calling, keep Googling, keep asking even the people that are in your team if they know someone who has experience in this space and it can actually help you, and they might have worked together as well.
Love it. All right. Now, step number 5. What are we looking at here?
We want to be putting in the work.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, what are the things you need to do to get yourself started?
Okay. And so getting yourself started. So I feel like we're kind of already on a roll. We've set the goal, or we've got at least a very good understanding of what the goal is. We've talked to a few professionals. We've then talked to a broker.
Yep.
Got that or got each of the professional systems kind of run through a serviceability calculator, essentially. We then filtered out the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. I always say that, but I still don't know what chaff is. But we've now got a team around us. So when you're saying putting in the work, where to from there? What's this? Yeah.
One of the first things, you might be still a few $1,000s short, or you might be considerably not close to having a sizable enough deposit for the strategy that you're looking at. So first step might be start saving towards that deposit.
Okay, so you're talking about like finding the holes in your current situation.
Yeah.
Because maybe you've got a great deposit, but the serviceability wasn't there.
Correct.
So it's like it's time to look at how do I maybe earn an extra 10 grand a year?
Yeah.
Or,
yeah. Look at your cash flows. How can I tighten those things up? The hole might be a bit more gap in your knowledge. So could be listening to a podcast, could be reading some blogs, could be attending some seminars. Just start consuming some knowledge to help that learning so you can continue to ask questions and push back on your team to make sure they're working with your best interests at heart. And there's something else that you can do. You can really map out what it looks like from saving a deposit to what happens to when you close out and you acquire that property.
okay, so like all of the 20, 30, 40, 50 steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing, speak to your broker, speak to your buyer's agent.
Yep.
You might even be just call an agent, go to an open home, put in an offer, sign up with a buyer's agent.
Yep.
Settle on your property. Really rank them from top to bottom on what gets you the most uncomfortable and see what you are really going to need assistance with.
This is good because I remember I used to have this all the time, especially with first home buyers, but I think first home investors are exactly the same. Yep. Putting in offers, I would have so many people, you'd call them up on Monday and go, oh yeah, we're just still not sure. And the more time you'd sort of chat with them, the more you kind of pull apart that they're actually just super nervous putting in an offer. But then as soon as you do it, you realize that the world doesn't explode.
100%. And circling this back around to your team that you're putting together, it's going to help you really work out who you're going to need to lean on more for to really help you get done what you need. So whether that's leaning back onto your buyer's agent because you're not comfortable with making calls to agents and putting in your offers and negotiating with them.
Actually, that's a good point as well, because then this is all about making sure that if there's things that you're really not good at or don't like, or like you're saying, feel uncomfortable with, well, plug that hole with a professional.
Yeah, correct. Outsource it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Okay. So start putting in the work. You're making a list of everything that needs to get done. And then you're doing the most uncomfortable thing to then either go, wow, this isn't so bad, or actually this was really bad, I don't like it, and make sure that that's outsourced.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. Step number 6.
This is the cool one.
Yeah.
This is the cool one.
Yeah.
Be ready to get punched in the face.
Okay. Now I got to ask, what do you mean by that? Because I've never been to an open like that.
Neither have I either. But it's just something that I sort of say and what I've done in terms of crafting strategies. And it comes from Mike Tyson, the famous boxer.
Yep.
He's always used to say is everyone has a plan until you're punched in the face.
I like it.
And what that means for me is just be ready for the unexpected.
And there's so much of that in property.
So much.
How many people did you talk to going back like a year and a half, 2 years ago? And they're like, not going to touch rates for at least 2024.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Legit. And that's the thing. You look at that and it's like, bang, that's a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And you just got to be ready for them because stuff's always going to happen. Like we peel back and look at some of the other stuff that's happened in recent times. We've had the rental reforms across wide ranges of states.
Yeah. Victoria is not exactly as attractive as it used to be. But
yeah, absolutely. And even we were chatting off there a bit earlier about the APRA buffer changes.
That's right. Back like 2017, 18, whenever it was.
Yeah, 100%. Change the lending game.
I still remember that when I was doing opens and the market wasn't on fire at all. And it was normal to get like 4 or 5 to 6 people maybe at an open, at like each open. Those are normal numbers. And I still remember the weekend that all of that happened. And I reckon it was 6 people through every single one of my opens. And I had like 5 or 6 opens for the whole weekend. It was just such a game changer. But I also remember people getting out of the market and going, oh, well, everything's going to tank. It's all going to go. And look at the profit that they would have sold to other investors that then they doubled and in some cases tripled in Adelaide.
100%. And it's the same thing. Like you look at maintenance, you're always going to have maintenance problems. Something's always going to be there. So it's always making sure that you're ready for those unexpected changes and even tenancy changeovers. Prepare to have a tenancy changeover every year. Might not happen, but just prepare for the worst.
And this is why I liked it. Obviously, it's humorous. It's a little bit silly. Get punched in the face. But I like it though because I think that so many people probably listen up until that bit and it's like, yeah, okay, cool. I can make some phone calls. Yeah, I can talk to some people. I can set a goal. That sounds pretty fun. I can do that. I can ask professionals like the hard questions or at least a few hard questions to see if I'm on the right team. Then putting in the work. Yeah, all right, I can go to opens. I can do that. But when it does get tough, that is when a lot of people stop.
100%.
And it's like that meme of the 2 guys mining underground for diamonds and one of them walks away just before he gets there. And it's like, but if you can take those metaphorical punches in the face and just keep moving forward or punch back.
100%.
Like,
absolutely. And I think the big thing is when the challenges come, just take a breath.
Yep.
It's all going to be okay. Just review back to your plan, remember why you're there and keep punching back and keep moving forward.
And if you've built yourself a team, an accountant that's a gun, a buyer's agent that's a gun, whoever, call them.
Lean on them.
Exactly.
100%.
Because you'll find that most people that have built portfolios as well, if you start going, oh, I'm a little bit concerned, I don't know if I should do this, they're going to recognize that maybe that's just a tap on the chin that you need to take.
100%. And what's the point of having a team if you're not going to lean on them for advice and guidance and run ideas by them? Spitball ideas. Say, hey, I'm thinking about this, thinking about that. This problem's had, hey, have you had this happen before?
So as far as an action step's concerned, mate, there is like a ton of action steps within here. But what's your kind of like overarching action step for this episode?
Start. You got to start somewhere.
Okay.
I think Wayne Gretzky, the famous
ice hockey player,
yeah, he had his famous quote is, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." So if you don't take a shot, you haven't started.
Yeah, and so many people would just leave this as barbecue chat.
Yeah. Exactly. And you leave it. You look at how fast the markets have moved in recent times. You might price yourself out.
I still remember that. My dad, like dad and stepmom growing up, like Saturday nights, I was the every other weekend kid. And they would have people over for like Saturday night drinks. I think it's just the standard like school friends, parents, that kind of thing. And there was this one conversation. I would have only been like 10 years old, but it always stuck with me. And I can't remember who said it. I'm going to say Phil, one of them. And they were talking about how dad paid, I think it was $90,000 for their home. And they're in like probably 20 Ks away south in Adelaide. Now it's probably worth about $800,000. And I always remember them saying, because actually at the time of this conversation, it was probably worth 300 grand. I was like, wow, imagine if you bought 2 or 3 of them. And they were all looking back nostalgically, looking at that situation now. They're intelligent people. They were very nice people. They were hardworking people. They all could have. They really could have. And I look at that and I think that that's the part that's missing. Yeah. It's the taking the action. It's the 100% of shots you don't take, you miss. Yeah. Like, and if you've got this hard work ethic, this goodwill, like no, actually the goodwill's beside that you can be an asshole and do well at this. But I think that it's so true that so many people could do so well at this.
Absolutely.
But they just don't take that first step in actually doing something.
100%. And we all deserve to have better. So start. Have a go. You're better off by trying. You're better from just having a go. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing happens and you're back where you were.
I do feel like I need to say this is not financial advice. Please seek independent professional financial advice from a qualified professional. Because unfortunately, there are ways that you can screw yourself in property. Okay,
Correct.
very, very much want to
Yes,
say that.
absolutely.
But if you do it right,
Yes.
my God, the
upside's
payoffs are huge.
Yeah, the upside's huge.
Yeah.
100%.
I like this, James. Well, if we go to the most important question of the entire show, we're at the pointy end of things. James Nelis, what is your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza is a pizza shop down the road from me called Gino's in Hamilton in Brisbane.
Okay.
Now, it's not the greatest pizza
How's it your favorite then?
because it's $10. And you can go in there,
Yeah.
you can go in there, get a $10 pizza. It's
Yeah.
actually now gone up to 11. I've been living there for 5 years and it's gone up $1 in 5 years.
That's not bad with inflation.
Correct.
Okay.
And you can get a standard wood-fired pizza, 12 inches.
Are we talking wood fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
$10. And beats going and paying the same amount of price at Domino's. So
I like it. So Gino's, big shout out to Gino
Yeah.
there. It sounds like you got some great value pizza. And what one are you getting? Or is it just the value?
generally I'll get a meat lovers or a special. It's got a bit of pepperoni, pineapple, olives. But yeah, can't miss with Gino's at $10.
James Nelis, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more from you as the years go on, mate. But thank you so much for coming on the show today. Are there any final words of wisdom or anything else that you'd like to say?
I think it's probably just really important to note that you just need to be consistent. So be consistent with your savings, be consistent with your purchases if that's a part of your plan, be consistent with your rental increases, and you've just got to review everything. Make sure that your plan is still aligned to your goals and they haven't changed.
Love it. James Nelis from InvestorKit, thank you so much for jumping on the show, mate.
Thanks, Todd. Great to be on the other side of the headphones.
Yeah.